Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trevor with Embers Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Today we have a fun video for you today because we're comparing the Weber SmokeFire versus the Traeger Ironwood. Before we get into this review though, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It really helps out our channel a ton if you can do that. So go ahead and do that if you don't mind. So I woke up today super excited to do this review between the two. I had all these ideas and thoughts in my mind about what this video was going to be. You probably saw I did a full in-depth review on this guy already. If you want to watch that video, you can click on the link above and do the full in-depth review on this grill alone. But I was super excited to do the product comparison, but you probably saw one of my biggest fears was the potential for grease fires in this guy, and based on the way the grill's designed and that we have exposure to open flame. Sure enough, if you look up on YouTube, this guy's having major problems with grease fires, and you know, obviously can one, ruin your food, but could be a potential safety hazard if it's close to your home or something like that. So unfortunately, this comparison is over before it started. The winner is Traeger, no question. I wanted to pursue this video though and still talk about the differences because the winner is Traeger, and I say that for now, because I still think this grill has a lot of potential, but they obviously have to fix some things. So I still want to talk about the things I like about this smoker and the potential that it has to become. So of course, some of my favorite features about it are the way this grill is physically built. I like the foundation of where they're at. If you're a early adopter, this is their first run. I think they'll get the kinks worked out and fix some of the problems. And that's why I wanted to keep doing this video, is because I wanted to talk about some of the things that I like. So let's start with traditional smokers, Traeger being one of them. Now this isn't a huge problem, but they're hoppers here. So you fill up your pellets here on a Traeger, and then that auger is gonna feed horizontally into the middle of the burn pot in the middle of the grill. Sometimes on occasion, you can get a backdraft going back up into the hopper and your pellets can catch on fire. That's pretty rare, but it can happen occasionally. What Weber has done to combat that is, the hopper's on the back, which I really like because it gives us a nice prep station right next to the grill, which I guess you sort of have on the hopper lid, but personally I just like the way this looks better on the Weber. But what it is I'll show you a close-up here, but the auger motor goes upwards and then the burn pot sits down here and the pellets sort of go down a slide into the burn pot. Now this is really cool because it's impossible for that to backdraft up into your hopper, and so it is a nice design. What I really liked about what Weber did is they didn't just make another grill just to sell grills. They actually tried to make a different product, but unfortunately they still have some things to sort of work out. But that was one piece of hardware equipment that I really liked. Another thing, and this is just a simple thing, but I like these support bars here because they run all the way up the lid handle. So it's pretty hard for this to hyperextend. On your Traeger, there are two latches here, but it definitely has a little more give to it. So again, it's a small thing, but I really like this design here. The other reason we compared it to the Ironwood is Traeger has the Pro Series, the Ironwood, and the Timberline, sort of the three models there. It closely falls in line with price and as far as performance, well with the Ironwood. It doesn't have an insulated hood, just like the Ironwood doesn't, but it does have insulated sides, just like the Ironwood. So it's really the most comparable grill would be the Traeger Ironwood between these two models. So those are some of the hardware features that I liked. Now on their temperature control settings, they give us an option of 4 meat probes, so I really like that as well, whereas the Traeger just gives us the 1. But you can see in some of the videos they're also having issues with the app communicating with the actual grill. There's some inaccuracies there. Of course, from time to time, Traeger has some issues on that, but all in all, Traeger definitely has the kinks worked out when it comes to that. Now your grease on the Traeger is gonna fall into this grease bucket here, whereas on the Weber, it's gonna go into the bottom of the grill here. I did like this feature because it is handy and easy and out of the way, out of sight. So it was pretty nice. Then of course the physical finish itself, this is porcelain finish, which of course resembles a lot of other Weber products. Definitely looks like a Weber versus the Traeger is more powder coated. I don't think one's better than the other, it just depends what you like. But of course, as I mentioned, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go on YouTube and do a search. The biggest downfall with this grill is Weber wanted you to be able to sear, which means you're gonna get up over 500 degrees. Now, one way they accomplish that is underneath the cooking grids here, they just have their sear plates, and then they just have one hood in the middle, which stops direct flame just in the center from going on your meat. But on the left and right, you have potential for direct fire, especially on a high setting, to catch that meat. And if you're doing something overnight, like a pork butt or ribs, brisket, something that's got to be in there 10, 12 hours, you have great potential for a grease fire. And that's not good, because that's the opposite of what you want when you're going low and slow. And I can tell what they were doing. I think they were trying to sort of cater towards the everyday consumer, which, you know, they do a great job on their gas grills. Their customer support is fantastic. Their gas grills perform fantastic. And of course you can sear on their gas grills. So I think they tried to take some of that technology and put it into a pellet smoker. And it's true that on all the other pellet smokers, you can't get up to 600 degrees for the most part. There's a few exceptions. But my opinion is these guys have been making Traeger's been making pellet grills for so long. You have other brands like Green Mountain Grills, Z Grills, Rectech. There's a lot of other brands out there. There's a reason they don't get up over 500 degrees. The reason is once you're above 500 degrees, grease catches on fire. And when you're smoking those types of meats that are extremely fatty, you have even more potential for grease fires. I think what they were trying to do was cater to the average user who's not necessarily a big time low and slow smoker. I think that they were catering towards maybe someone that wants to get into smoking, but they like using a gas grill. They want to get it hot quick. They want direct flame. They want to put burgers and brats on there, but still get some of the smoke flavor. That is purely an assumption. I'm just guessing that they were just trying to cater to more users that way and make it an easier transition to go from gas to pellet. But it's not working. And there's a reason why. Not only did these guys not get up over 500 degrees, but their smoke tray in here goes all the way across the grill. So even if you had a large fire underneath, it's going up and around so that you don't really have direct contact with any of your meat. So it can't overcook or burn or spoil what you're doing. And the other thing is with the potential of grease fires, again, that lends itself more to burgers and brats, because the whole point of a pellet smoker in general is to set it and forget it. The reason personally why I use a pellet smoker over a charcoal smoker, or a charcoal like a Big Green Egg or a Primo or a nice ceramic grill, which are great, but if I'm doing a 10-hour brisket, I just don't have the time to sit there and babysit the thing and make sure the temperature is always 100% right. That's what's so great about smokers, is you literally set a temperature and you know for 10 hours, as long as your popper's full, it's not going to deviate between 5 and 10 degrees. It just isn't. And so for me, I can put it on, work all day. When I'm done with work, it's done. And so that's why I use a pellet grill. Once you're too hot, one, you're not cooking stuff that hot. But two, if now you're in a position where you have to babysit it to make sure you're not having any grease fires when you're cooking that hot. So I don't see an advantage, because I don't use a pellet grill to really sear anyway. So I think that was a huge mistake that Weber made. We'll see if they fix it. I think they need a full sheet all the way across the bottom of that grill. I don't like their sear deflectors, because that's what's in there, or their grease deflectors, flavorizers or grease deflectors, whatever they call them. That's the technology that's in their gas grills. So I think they tried to overlap some of that technology into this grill, and it just didn't work, because those things cover the gas burners, and they help protect the gas burners, and they work really well on a gas grill. The other thing why I don't like exposure to direct flame is with this guy, you have literally a pot filled with wood, your fuel source. So it's basically a miniature fire. So you have a real wood fire in there. With a gas grill, if you get a grease fire, you can instantly kill the fuel. You can turn the gas off, instantly kill the fuel source, and that grease fire is eventually going to kill itself off. In a relatively quick manner, you can get rid of a grease fire in a gas grill. With this, you can't cut off the fuel source. The fuel source is the wood, and you have a pile of wood sitting in the burn pot. You have to wait for all of that to burn up, which obviously takes a lot longer than instantly killing a gas burner. So for me, I don't see the translation for wanting to sear on a pellet smoker. It just doesn't make sense. It's not something I would personally do. But there may be some people out there that would. Of course, we're barbecue guys here, so the best thing to do is have one of each. If you want to sear, have a gas grill. If you want to smoke, have a pellet smoker. Have 2 grills. The wives don't typically like that, but you know, there's nothing wrong with having 2 grills. You know, can't hurt anything, except maybe some of your real estate on your deck or your porch. So I'm talking way too much here, but that's my conclusion. I loved a lot of the features. I'm really irritated that they tried to incorporate the sear feature into this. I think it blew up in their face. But again, the reason I'm doing this review is the Traeger's tried and true. It's designed well. They tried to change some of the designs in the Weber, make it a different type of product. And I still think it has potential. I think if they can work out some of the kinks in the app, I think if they could give us a full smoker or a full tray all the way across so we don't have the option for direct flame. Don't let this puppy get hotter than 500 degrees. And I think we could be in business with this guy, and it could compete really, really well against some of the more tried and true pellet brand names out there, because obviously Weber has a strong brand name. The one thing I am a little concerned about is Traeger has a great customer service option, 1-800-TRAEGER. And it works fantastic. And they know pellet grills, they know auger motors, they know electronics, they just know the system. Weber, on the other hand, also has a fantastic customer service support. The problem is their customer service support is for gas and charcoal grills. There's not nearly as many electronics or moving parts in a gas grill as there is a pellet smoker. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for them on a customer support side. Not that they don't give good customer support, but I don't know if they'll be quite ready for the amount of technical problems that happen in a pellet smoker compared to a gas grill. Because let's face it, you have electronics, you have motors, and you have it all near very, very high heat things. That's a recipe for replacement parts, no matter what it is. Traeger has it down with their 3-year warranty. They are awesome with their customer service support, and our customer feedback has been fantastic. On the gas grill side, Weber is also fantastic with their customer support, so I'm curious to see how that's going to translate over. So we'll see what happens. I think there's again, I did this review because I think there's still a lot of potential here, but only time will tell. Hopefully we can do a follow-up video with some revisions on this guy, but for now, the clear winner is Traeger. But stay tuned for details to come, and we'll see what happens. So thanks so much for checking out this video. If you're in the Denver metro area, don't forget you can come down to our showroom, check these products out for yourself. Don't forget, gotta smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helps in some of your decision making when you're doing some shopping online.